Hi, have you or anyone that you know of has been suffering from prolonged trauma? Well, complex PTSD is quite difficult and it's quite traumatic. Well, I'm Manji Turani, Advanced Certified BodyTalk Practitioner, and today we are going to dive in and talk about PTSD and how we can look at some help through BodyTalk system. So PTSD is the post-traumatic stress syndrome, comes from many times it will result from prolonged and repeated trauma, which could be a physical or an emotionally abusive relationship, rivalry, sibling rivalry, being bullied in school or cyberbullying, leading to suicide and killing and all, or even a sexual abuse or a hostile environment. So anything that's repetitive and prolonged could lead to this complex PTSD. Now, complex PTSD is basically not a disorder. It is about rewiring your neural pathways and your nervous circuits and your sensory circuits to be able to survive the dangerous situation. And many a times when people are stuck into that PTSD, even though the trauma has finished, there is this heightened fight, flight, survival mode. Another factor that comes up with complex PTSD is gaslighting. Now, gaslighting is when there is so much of emotional manipulation that leads the person to doubt their own memory, their perspective, their sanity, and it's like a lot of lying and betrayal, which sort of creates this chaos where a person is just not able to trust themselves. So all this could be stored in the body mind, showing up in panic attacks, anxiety, physical symptoms, hives, rashes, allergies, intolerances, even though that trauma has been passed and that particular incident has gone. And this can prolong for many years. So our body stores the stressors within the body mind. Now, we'll talk about how BodyTalk treatment would address this. BodyTalk is a holistic healthcare. It is about listening to your body's unique story by communicating with the body's innate wisdom, using a gentle muscle testing, and identifying that root cause of the trauma. And once you identify the story that could be buried in the subconscious mind, and many times it's not a particular incident, it is those prolonged various incidents related to that scenario that could be stored in the body mind as an active emotional charge and contributing to that brain centers getting into this heightened fight, flight, survival mode. So with BodyTalk treatments, it's about looking at this whole network of emotional trauma and stress, releasing those actively charged memories from the cells. So the trauma is just not in the body, it's stored in each and every cell in the body. Using active memory treatments, we are looking at synthesizing and releasing all that emotional trauma from the cellular level, and therefore helping the amygdala complex, which is the center of the brain, which are two tiny almond-shaped centers in the brain, which is all about fight, flight, survival mode. Now, with this prolonged complex PTSD, the amygdala complex is stuck into many times this fight, flight, survival mode, where it's constantly seeing the environment as a threat and sort of responding and producing high stress hormones, inflammation, which can further contribute to autoimmune conditions and so on. So with BodyTalk treatments, what we are looking at is restoring the function of the amygdala complex, optimizing the senses, our 5 senses, which are our windows to world. And many times these windows are sort of stuck with the trauma, and which sort of heightens our perception of pain. Then even a smallest stressor could trigger that anxiety mechanism. So with BodyTalk treatments, we are looking at neutralizing that whole fabric of emotional trauma that could be stored in the cellular level, restoring the function of the amygdala complex, clearing that emotional trauma from the cellular level, as well as working with restoring the head, heart, and gut brain. Now, each of these 3 brain plays a crucial role in functioning of the mind. So our head brain is more like the computer that processes information, which could get stuck into overthinking, worrying, anxiety mode when the brain is not producing enough serotonin and dopamine, which are the hormones that switch the amygdala complex out of that stress mode. Secondly, it could be the heart brain. The heart brain produces dopamine and oxytocin. 90% of our dopamine and oxytocin is produced in the heart brain. Dopamine is your reward hormone. Oxytocin is about love and connection. So these are the primary hormones for feel good and functioning well. Then our gut brain produces serotonin and GABA. GABA is an anti-anxiety hormone, and serotonin is all about feeling good. Again, 95% of our hormones are produced in the gut. So with BodyTalk treatment, we are looking at, more importantly, how to restore and optimize the communication between these three centers of the brain, and running a reset on the synchronity, so brain is out of that fight, flight, survival mode into this relaxation mode. So out of that sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic nervous system, and being able to switch off that complex PTSD, which could be keeping somebody into this heightened emotional stress, anxiety mode. So with BodyTalk treatments, I've seen amazing results with working with PTSD, where you'll see the person will feel much more calmer, relaxed, feeling in control of their emotions, and being able to handle life by more functioning in the moment. So when there is a trauma and stress, the brain is stuck into the past, into a past situation. And with all these treatments, we are looking at being able to grieve, synthesize, process the past trauma, so you are more functioning into the present moment and optimizing your quality of health. So if you're looking for some help for addressing the PTSD or emotional stress, BodyTalk treatments are just amazing. Book in a BodyTalk session. You can sign up for a free monthly group session, which are quite powerful to support you in your health and well-being. As well as there's this particular technique called brain balancing technique codices, which you can check out on my link that I'll put in the caption. This simple brain balancing technique would help you for restoring the communication between your left and right hemispheres of the brain. So BodyTalk treatments, if you're looking for help, and more importantly, taking charge and being aware of this PTSD, because it doesn't involve any physical abuse and it's more emotional, psychological abuse, and therefore the trauma is prolonged and a person is unaware of it. So seeking some help for yourself and doing these techniques, codices every day on yourself would be helpful. Thank you.